Hello, I'm State Senator Vinny deMacedo, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about question number 4 that's on the ballot. And question number 4 is going to be on the ballot that you're going to be voting on. So what I'm here today to do is to give you a little bit of information before you vote. You now are going to be the legislator. I've been a legislator for 18 years, and one thing I've learned is it's important to understand what's in the ballot question or in the piece of legislation you're dealing with. This is a 24-page piece of legislation. And so what's really unique about this is that when you see this first slide, you're going to see this broad coalition of leaders that are in opposition to this ballot question. So when you move to the next slide, you're going to see people from all different backgrounds. We've got the governor, the attorney general, the mayor, the speaker, 121 legislators in opposition to this. Every district attorney, every sheriff in opposition to this. All of the healthcare world is virtually in opposition to this. Public safety, business groups, Boston Chamber of Commerce, South Shore Chamber of Commerce, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. There's a reason they're against this. Not all these people are against the just against marijuana. What they are against is this 24-page piece of legislation that commercializes this industry. And so what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about some of the details. One of the first details in the next slide I think you'll find interesting is the potency. This is an issue that you'll see right here on this slide that back in the day, and many people remember marijuana in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the stuff that's just grown naturally, that had a 2.5% THC content. Over the years, they've started to perfect and strengthen this product, and you'll see now that the product that they're growing in Colorado is somewhere between 17 and 18% THC content, a far more potent product than what people recognize. So when you're voting yes on this, you're voting for a much different product than you remember. And that's important to understand because this isn't just about marijuana being smoked, it's marijuana being eaten. 50% of the industry in Colorado now is 50% of this industry is edibles. Edibles, so cookies, candies, gummy bears, lip balm, butter, all of these products are infused. And those products have 30 to 40% THC content, a far more potent product. And that is going to be everywhere. And frankly, that's a legitimate concern for us. And so you'll see in the coming up slides that's the case. But in the next slide, you're going to see what's happening, frankly, across the country. Now, Colorado was the first state in the nation to legalize it. So you see Colorado over in the West Coast. Quickly followed by Oregon and Washington State have legalized, and of course Alaska. Now what they're trying to do is you're going to see that they're trying to come to the East Coast. Massachusetts, if allowed, will be the first place on the East Coast to allow for legalization and commercialization of marijuana, and we're very concerned about that. And again, the reason I tell you we're concerned about it is because we're going to be the epicenter for Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, for New York and New Jersey, where people will come from there to come to Massachusetts to get marijuana. And again, a legitimate concern for all of us. I spoke to you a little while ago about the high potency of the edible products. I want you to see in the next slide what some of these products were looking like in Colorado, what they were, some of the stuff. You'll see the energy drinks that they're doing. Very much marketed towards young people. Now, of course, you see the Pop-Tarts and the Pop-Tarts. Of course, Kellogg's very quickly got upset about that, and they had to stop. They stopped them from doing that. You see the Klondike bars, or the Klondike bars. All of these products are infused. However, they were quickly stopped by them. But they will try to make these products very enticing to young people. So when you're looking at these products, you'll see that this is a legitimate concern because most people don't realize that 50% of the products are edibles, that it's not just marijuana. And so very concerning. But this next slide is probably one of the most important slides that I'm going to share with you. And this is a study that AAA did. And in this study, you're going to see that in the past year, in the first year of legalization in Washington State. So if you can see 2010, 2011, 2012, and 13, the amount of fatal accidents that happened with people that had THC in their system was right about 8%. In 1 year of legalization, it went to 17%. That's 49 deaths to 106 deaths in 1 year. That I'm telling you, is the biggest concern that we have in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, because we know for a fact, and the industry knows for a fact, that there is no way at all to test for someone driving under the influence of marijuana. So we know that right now, if you're driving under the influence of alcohol, if you blow a .08, what happens to you? You'll get arrested. It'll stand up as evidence in a court of law. There is no test for marijuana. Our concern is you're going to see more and more people, because of the commercialization and the fact that there's so many of places to buy this product, that there are going to be more accidents. That's the biggest concern that I have. And no matter what the industry tells you that they're working on a test, I will tell you, everyone across the board will tell you there is no test, and we're trying to, or the industry is trying to say that this is the same as alcohol. There is no way to protect the public in that regard. And so to that extent, I'm very, very much concerned. So we've talked about edibles, that 50% of the industry, highly potent. We've talked about drugs driving, the concern about that. The next thing I'm going to talk about that most people don't understand is that in this 24-page piece of legislation, in the next slide, it talks about the issue of allowing people to home grow. So guess what? Even if you're dead set against this and you're upset, your neighbor next to you, they can grow marijuana at their home. The neighbor on the other side, they can grow. And they can grow up to 12 pot plants. Each individual can go 6 pot plants. Why is that significant? Well, a pot plant will grow to full maturity in 5 months. In 5 months, it'll grow up to 5 feet tall, yield a pound of marijuana. That's a significant amount, and they'll be able to grow 12 in their home. You can imagine that this is very profitable, but also is really going to fuel the black market. The industry will tell you that the black market goes away. Well, just look at this. If you have everyone in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, no matter if you vote or against it or for it, you will not be able to stop them from operating their little we call mini pot shops. And they're going to suggest you can't sell it. But you know what? You know what's going to happen. When someone can grow it, they can certainly give it away. And we believe this is what's going to fuel the market to the under 21 years of age. Because if you're growing it in your home, you're not doing the checking of the ID. That's a significant point, and I'm very concerned about it. Now, the proponents have also been talking quite a bit about the issue of how it's going to assist with the opiate crisis. Let me just tell you a quick little, in the next slide, a quick example of why I don't believe that's the case. This is Colorado, and again, we're just understanding this because it's only been a few years. But in Colorado, we have seen a 350% increase in heroin deaths over the last 5 years. That's higher than the national average. And so when you understand that they've already had it commercialized, if it's really helping with the opiate crisis, why have we seen a 350% increase in opiate deaths there? That, in fact, is another claim that you're seeing. You're actually seeing it in ads on TV right now, how it's going to help the opiate crisis. Remember, the entire medical industry is with us. Most of everyone in the prevention addiction community are with us. Every public safety group is with us. Virtually every legislator, or 121 legislators, every significant political group is with us. The bishops of the Catholic Church are with us. We've seen faith groups across the Commonwealth coming out against this because they understand that question 4 isn't a question of marijuana, yes or no. It's a question, it's a ballot question, a 24-page piece of legislation that we believe is not good for Massachusetts. And once it's in, you can't get it out. So I'm encouraging you to look at this question before you vote on question 4. Understand what you're doing, and I hope that you'll join this incredibly bipartisan organization and a broad coalition of people who say no to question 4. Thank you for listening to this presentation.